Hi everyone, this is the second student sample that you'll be viewing for this course. This paper takes the first student sample that we read a little bit farther regarding the topics of globalization and Americanization. For this essay assignment, students were required to use the same three sources from the first sample essay that you looked at and to add two different genres that addressed either globalization or Americanization. So for this paper, they would have a total of 5 sources. They would have the original 3 articles that were read, and then they would have the 2 different genres. And when I told them 2 different genres, I explained that they couldn't be the same genres. So it could be, for example, a blog post and a figure. It could be a meme and an obituary. It could be a newspaper article or a journal article, but they couldn't be the same types of genre that looked at the topics of globalization and Americanization. So download this paper first so that you can flip along as I go through the paper here on the PowerPoint. Okay, let's take a look at the first page. What we're going to focus on in this part of the paper is the use of quotes and specifically block quotations. So you'll also need to have downloaded the handout about block quotations so that you understand a little bit more about how to use those and how to cite them. Okay, let's take a look at the introductory paragraph. And here you see that the student has cited herself. So she had her last name, the year of her publication, and the page number. So I deleted that, of course, to protect the student's privacy. But I think that's really good that she quoted herself from the other paper that she had done in this course. And then, to provide more information about the article, she uses a long quote. And you may remember this was one of the articles that we looked at in the first sample essay. So this is how we do a block quotation. It has to be tabbed over a little bit more than the original tab for paragraphs, and it has to be in block format. So generally anything 40 words or more should use the block quotation format. Okay, you can read through this article and see how she has synthesized, summarized, paraphrased the different sources that we used. So here she's just providing a summary of what she did in the previous paper and looking at the 3 different articles. So these are all good examples of summaries. So be sure that you read these so that you'll know how to summarize your documents when it comes to doing the final essay for this course. Okay, again, here's the summary for article number 3. And here she used a block quote. I think she could have used a little bit more source citation. So for example, here she just says the 3rd article. So I would probably want to make a note saying that you should put a citation. So that should include the author's last name and the year. So here I know she was talking about the Heifer article. So I would tell her, be sure to put Heifer 2010 so that we know which article she's talking about. Of course, we can see it here, but it's good that we know from the beginning which article she's talking about. And I would probably also recommend that she does it for the other paragraphs that are above, just so that there's no doubt which article she's talking about. So to refer to them by author's last name and year of publication, like that. Okay, for the second part of her paper, she had to introduce the 2 different genres. And this student introduced a political cartoon that talked about Americanization and globalization here in the United States. And she talked about how this political cartoon related to the articles that we had read for the previous assignment. So here she gives a good example about how they're related. So not only was it related to this article, Is Globalization the Same as Americanization? But it went on to provide how it was related to this article. And here you see that she's brought out another quote from Article 2, which was by Cope, and she's explaining again how the figure that she used, the political cartoon, helps to show this information. So this is how a different genre, can add new perspectives to a different title. Okay, then she introduces her second figure, and her second figure was a video. It was actually a TED Talk that she found online. So again, I would recommend that she put the author's name with the publication date here, rather than just referring to it as figure 2, so that again we're referred to which sources she used for this. Okay, she was able to relate figure 2 to the paper that we read in the previous assignment about America as the acceptable face of cultural imperialism, which was the article by Heffer. And again, she uses quotes from that article to explain how they're related, and then she paraphrases the quotes as well too, so that we have further understanding about how she interpreted the quote. As she's referring to her different figures, figure 1 and figure 2, make sure that there's a capital for figure 1 or figure 2, and the same goes for tables or graphs. Just make sure that those are always capitalized. And then finally we can take a look at the 2 artifacts that she used. So one was the political cartoon and one was the TED Talk. And then we have her reference page here. So again, they're in alphabetical order according to the author's last name. If there's no author's last name, then you would use the title of the article. So you can review this paper so that you have some idea about what to expect on the final exam. Good luck!